Roman Reigns returned on Smackdown Friday night after a 1-week absence. He missed one show, and they built the entire thing around his return. Roman Reigns also just passed Bret Hart for the greatest number of total days as WWE Universal or World Heavyweight Champion at more than 650 days for Roman Reigns as the champion. Roman Reigns was the only good thing about that show on Friday night. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman. Outside of the main angle, SmackDown was a lousy show. And another one that apparently, according to Fightful, was being rewritten right up until they went live on the air. Toni Storm pinned Charlotte Flair in a tag team match that was originally, per Fightful Select, planned for next week's Christmas Eve show. It was Toni Storm and Sasha Banks against Charlotte and Shotzi Blackheart. So Toni gets a championship match with Charlotte on the Christmas Eve episode of SmackDown instead. That's coming up this Friday. That's already been taped. They taped 2 shows on Friday so the wrestlers can spend Christmas with their families. They did another Usos New Day match after they already wrestled the week before. And they will again at Day 1. They're wrestling on Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 5, all the way to Day 260. We got a non-title match. The match at the pay-per-view will be for the titles. We got a non-title match on Friday night that ended with the champs losing again. This was not a great week to be a champion in WWE. Let us recap. What a wonderful week it was for champions in WWE. Matt Riddle, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, pinned by Otis on Monday. Big E, the WWE Champion, pinned by Bobby Lashley on Monday. Charlotte Flair, the SmackDown Women's Champion, pinned on Friday. And the Usos, for the second straight week, pinned on SmackDown. I've said it for years. I'll say it again. Champs are chumps. The t-shirt is still up in our Pro Wrestling Tee store. It is as relevant today as it was the day that I first put it up all those years ago. The main angle, though, was excellent. The one saving grace from this show on Friday. Paul Heyman had not spoken with Roman Reigns all week after bringing the killer instinct back out of Brock Lesnar the week before. Reigns showed up late, and he went straight to the ring with Heyman and the Usos. Roman asked Heyman, "Did you know that Brock was coming back at SummerSlam? Did you know that Brock was going to be at Madison Square Garden? Did you know that Brock was going to be getting his suspension lifted? Did you know about that?" And then the final question, the most important question. Are you a special counsel or are you an advocate? Why are you protecting Brock Lesnar from me? And Heyman, whose acting here was just stellar, said, "My tribal chief, I'm not protecting Brock Lesnar from you. I am protecting you from Brock Lesnar." And Roman hugged him and he thanked him for 40 years of service to his family, and he fired him. And then he laid out Paul Heyman with a Superman punch. Brock Lesnar comes out to the rescue. He lays out the Usos. He lays out Reigns with not one but 2 F5s. And not even so much to the rescue. I mean, Roman was about to give Heyman a concerto. Brock came out. He was taking his sweet time. But he laid out Roman with 2 F5s. And so instead of building intrigue for what Heyman might do at Day 1, they had Roman Reigns fire him. And I think they did so to set up the big swerve that's coming at the pay-per-view. How do you have Brock Lesnar lose 2 straight matches to Roman Reigns without them just being clean losses, right? Because the loss at Crown Jewel, the Usos interfered, right? There was some chicanery involved. Well, you can't just do the same finish again at Day 1. So if you don't want to put the belt on Brock, then how do you do this finish? How does Brock lose to Roman Reigns? Well, you have Paul Heyman screw him over as part of an elaborate bloodline swerve, which is what I think is going to happen. I mean, look, they have too many bloodline t-shirts to sell that still have Heyman's likeness on it to split them up now. It's all about merch in this company. And Roman's stuff is the #1 seller in the entire company. Too many bloodline shirts with Paul Heyman on it to split them up now. I think Heyman enters with Brock at Day 1, or maybe not with Brock. Maybe he comes out middle of the match, but he leaves with Roman Reigns. That is my prediction. If I grade this show 1 to 10, based solely on the main angle they did, I would give it an 8 or a 9. That's how much I like that angle. If I grade that show on everything else, on the other 1 hour and 40 minutes, I give it a 3. Smackdown is the Reigns and Lesnar show, and once that program with Brock runs its course, they still have Drew McIntyre, but after him, they are in a world of trouble when it comes to credible challengers for that Universal title.